So this is like the first episode of our video podcast. So you have
Welcome to
weblogs.
Blobs.
Yeah, yeah. You get weblogs that are blogs, and then you get video logs that are vlogs. So it's a video podcast, a vlog,
Vlogcast.
a
A
vlogcast. Yeah,
vlog.
yeah. We'll have to figure it out.
Sounds
Name to be
logical to me.
determined. But so
They're
yeah.
the best kind. Endless possibilities.
So everyone watched the Super Bowl this weekend?
Nah,
I did-
not a
I
fan
did
of
not.
football.
Stupid. I hate the barbarity.
Grown men in spandex hitting each other. I don't know, man.
I do have to say though that I was not expecting. I went in expecting Carolina to win, hoping Manning would win, which I know that you hate.
I'm kind of over it. People have
Oh boy.
finally realized that there's no competition between him and Brady, so that whole thing's gone. I was expecting Carolina to blow him out, honestly.
Yeah,
I thought
same.
they'd win by 10 points at least.
Same. I mean, you see what they did to Seattle and Arizona, and it didn't seem like it'd even be competitive. And then
He just did a
So let me ask you this:
boo-boo.
was it more of what Denver did, or was it more of?
It's more of what Von Miller did.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Von
well.
Miller. I mean, I think there's a little bit of both. I mean, um, I think part of
Oh.
it was that you've got Newton and the Panthers were just so used to winning. Like I don't think they'd face any sort of adversity at all.
They lost to the Falcons of all people.
Yeah, true. And so going in there and kind of getting pushed around by Von Miller and Derek Wolf and all of them, that it put them in an uncomfortable position, and they just never seemed to be able to get out of it.
Yeah, and then losing, I think it was Brown in like the second or third quarter. So it was basically Devin Funchess and Jericho Cotchery as their only receivers.
Oh yeah,
That did not help.
yeah. Yeah, that's not a good combination.
Man, if they hadn't lost Benjamin, man, they would have been scary. Even
Uh-huh.
more scary.
But I did feel like, I mean, admittedly, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but just watching the press conferences leading up to it and knowing what I know about Cam Newton, it did seem like they were overly confident heading into the game. So,
They had no reason not to be, honestly,
Yeah.
to be fair to them.
yeah, but at the same time, you're going up against Peyton Manning, right? Like, I don't know.
Dude, Manning, if I'm not mistaken, threw for the lowest yardage by any quarterback in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
something
that's
like
true.
140 or something like that. It was like low.
I think it was
yeah.
like 104.
Was it
I think
that
lower
low?
than that. Manning did nothing. Manning just
Yeah.
kind of hung out.
I mean, it was basically that fumble return for the interception, for the touchdown.
Fumble return.
Yeah, it was a fumble intercepted. Yeah, it's the rarity
Oh.
in the NFL.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Oh. But um, but yeah, I mean that was basically it. And then what I think it was, I think it was like the missed field goal or whatever. That was sort of for most of the game until that like sort of infamous fumble that he didn't go for. It was effectively still pretty close.
yeah, it's true.
Which I can't believe. I can't imagine what I would be like as a fan watching. I saw a lot of people kind of defend him going into it, that like, oh, he maybe didn't see it or something like that, and then he kind of went into the press conference and was like, no, I just didn't go for it because I didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
I am the minority that stands by that decision. From all the replays, and especially live, it looked like it was right, like, at his feet, so he wouldn't be able to dive on it as much as, like, touch his toes and try and grab the ball, which makes him incredibly vulnerable, and I'm honestly not sure he could have gotten a good grip on the ball. Watching it all live as well as later, it just looks like he stepped back to wait for a rebound,
I mean,
which
yeah.
isn't a bad idea because there was no one else behind him. Like, he was playing center field at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that was the justification I heard from some people, but then he went to the press conference and was like, "No, I just didn't want to get it." Like, I think
Eh.
if he'd even come out and just been like, "No, I just didn't like see it or whatever," like, I think a lot of people. Ooh.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
he
I
just
think
got
I think
stomped.
the bigger problem was how it was presented and how he discussed it and reacted with the media more so than it was the actual play itself.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in that press conference, he came out with just that bad attitude, had his hood on. You know, it just looked like some little kid just lost his championship game and didn't want to talk to anybody, right?
Yeah.
He
I
is
mean,
a
and
kid. He did lose his championship game.
yeah. I mean, I get it, but on the other hand, like, I feel like he's someone who has to know how he's perceived, and even if he, you know, doesn't believe it's fair, like, to sort of be, it came across to me like petulant,
Yeah.
but
I saw a video comparing Peyton Manning's post game interview after he had lost the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl he'd lost. And I mean, yeah, he was sad and he was upset, but he owned up to the team and their mistakes and their inability to win the game and gave credit to the winning team. And he kept a positive attitude about their chances moving forward in the future. But you look at Cam Newton, he just comes out and well, he's giving one-word answers and saying, you know, like hardly anything at all and just pouting about it. It's just, I don't know. You look at someone who's supposed to be the leader of the team and the leader of the league as like the MVP. It just, I don't know. It just left. I think it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So
I hear you, but at the same time, I also appreciate someone who's not just following the script. Someone's not going to be up there and be like, yeah, well, man, we fought tough, and, you know, they're a good team. You know, they won the game. They beat us fair and square. And just be up there and say, you know, this is bullshit. We lost. I'm not happy about it.
yeah,
Whatever,
I think
man.
I feel like there was like a middle ground. Like nobody was saying he had to be like happy about it, but like he seemed to, but it was like a couple seconds long or whatever. Like I don't know. Well, although I do know the game, Mark, the game you're talking about, Manning infamously walked off the field and didn't go shake Drew Brees' hand. So
yeah, that's a good point as well.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, my.
Oh
Oh,
my
my.
goodness.
I'm in such
Oh,
I'm
my.
getting out of there.
Oh, crap.
I gotta go back and repair.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh.
I teleported away and I landed right in his little teleport
Oh my
bubble and
gosh.
it brought me right back.
Oh my gosh. There's a wall. Oh my.
I'm coming.
My guy's just wearing a helmet and just basically nothing else. What?
Man, that's really
I
hot.
don't know. I guess to me though, it still comes back to just if you're the leader of the team, you know, I would just expect much more out of the leader of my team than that. So
I mean, I
I
think
don't know.
he's still got some learning to do. I think he's, you see some, you see a guy like Russell Wilson. He comes in, like, and is basically, oh, you know, he's just a grown man. And in case of Newton, it may take him a little bit longer, and I'm being chased by really dangerous guys right now.
Are you back where we died?
Oh, man. Oh, man. What?
Where are you? I don't even know where you guys went. Are you back where we got killed?
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
I guess you two got killed. I didn't die. Just pointing that out.
Whatever, because he ran away.
True.
Whatever, I must have him.
But
Here
yes.
goes 1, 2.
Uh-oh. That's not bad. But they already have
My
odds
gosh.
for next year's Super Bowl.
Oh,
Because it's not too early to get your bets in. Oh, okay. They just turned.
Are those your odds, or did you pull that off of, like, Vegas?
No, those are from Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the Pats would be high. I didn't think they'd be number 1.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. Okay. I'm just gonna wait a little bit.
No reason not to, I guess.
guys.
We have 0 important people leaving the team this year, unless we cut them.
Yeah, and that was what I was kind of wondering about.
Freak!
Oh, Max. Oh, Max.
Are
Oh,
they like
Max.
is he enraged or something like that?
I don't know.
He's a dick is what he is.
But
Sit back here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were kind of interesting. Like,
I'm injured.
oh,
Oh!
Oh no!
What a douchebag.
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, part of me is like, well, should the Pats really be number one? But then you kind of sit there and you're like, well, who else would be number one? You know, like you look. So the next tier down was going to be, well, it's Carolina and Seattle. I think it was. It's 8-1. Which is interesting. They seem bullish on Seattle, which, as a Seattle fan, I'm a little like, eh.
Yeah, I think they should be higher than they are, but I do agree with the Pats being one because the only difference between this year and next year is that we're going to have like 7 starters back from injury.
Yeah. I mean, it was basically your offensive line. Like, that just
Yeah.
kind of
And
died.
losing Dion Lewis was huge.
Yeah.
He was a freaking lunatic.
So, yeah, you got that. You know, I don't know in terms of Carolina, like, who they're losing, who they're getting, you know. I mean, they'll get Kelvin Benjamin back.
They have to try and find a way to keep Norman, which might lose to Charles Johnson being cut, which
Yeah.
would be a pretty good hit. He may be getting up there, but he's still real good.
And I'm not sure. I think Kawan Short's got another year on his deal, so I think they're okay there. But
Yeah, they'll try to
but
re-sign
money you have
now.
to start setting aside now. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Seattle's big thing is going to
Oh,
be
boy.
if they can get an offensive line. I mean, I think even if they had made it to that Super Bowl, I mean, against wow, that's a lot of guys over there. You know, that Denver front seven would have just shredded them. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a line that they wouldn't have.
I mean, because Carolina's got a pretty good offensive line, and it was like a swinging door. So
Yeah. Cam Newton had
Oh my gosh.
about 1 tick to throw it. Freaking.
yeah, I was kind of surprised Denver dropped so far relative. I
I
mean,
grow weak.
Well, they'll probably be starting Osweiler, and
but is he really
make
that
room.
much like worse than what Manning was kind of by the end? You know.
no, but I think he's viewed as more mistake prone. Manning, well, I guess that's kind of hard to say with Manning throwing like a
Threw an interception to a
4-to-1 interception ratio, or
Yeah.
1-to-4 rather, at home.
I mean, I guess the question there would be if Osweiler just because they have to make a decision in terms of their franchise tag with either it's got to be one of the three of either Osweiler, Von Miller, or Malik Jackson, and
This will be a
you know I could okay just got nuked there.
Wow, that was good.
You know that's going to be a challenge for them. That you know Brock Osweiler may hit the open market.
I'm
You know
badly
you
wounded.
you know, you've got teams like, and I have to start remembering not to say St. Louis, but like your team like LA that doesn't really have a quarterback, and they're probably not going to be in a position to draft one. You know,
Texans,
yeah, Texans.
they screwed themselves by making the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other. You know,
Nicely done.
does New York look at not the Giants, sorry, the Jets? Do they think about it? Maybe you know, is Fitzpatrick the one they want? You know, it's just kind of. You know, there's some teams that could make him an offer that I just wonder if he might just sort of
I grow weak.
say, nah, I'm gonna go test the market, and then all of a sudden they're drafting
Oh my
31
gosh.
with no quarterback.
Yeah,
Or 31.
I don't
rather.
think they can afford to go with Manning though.
Oh.
No, I
Best
mean,
case scenario, he plays another year. They have to keep Osweiler.
yeah, which means they really got to get a deal done with Von Miller.
Yeah, like very quickly.
Yeah, might
Because
as well
he's
just.
gonna be the person that signs on minute 1 if he's not
Oh yeah,
another team giving him $130 million contract.
yeah. some team will offer him the highest paid defensive player.
Some team will be the They'll pull a Dolphins
Yeah.
or a Bills.
Yeah, so I mean it's kind of interesting, but it makes sense why they would drop so much. You sit there and you're like, well, Super Bowl champs aren't favored to repeat, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, oh boy. But yeah, I can understand the logic there.
Yeah. A lot of questions. Uh-oh.
Man, oh there we go.
Oh, boy. Oh, SOS.
But which, I mean, speaking of the draft, though, I mean, it's kind of, ooh, just barely touched. I mean, it should be interesting, you know. I think it kind of feels like there doesn't seem to be like that, like just one must-have guy, but it feels like there's a ton of really good guys that they could pick from. It seems like what's her name? You've either got Joey Bosa or I think it's Laramie Tunsil. Kind of alternating as either one or two, depending on who's doing the mock draft.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Oh man, this is gonna be bad.
Oh, crap.
This is bad. This is bad. Oh my god. Oh, I'm at the edge. Oh my god. That's why. Then you gotta, I don't know what's. Oh my god.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
This is just. I think we're a level too high.
Oh, we can take it down a notch in a second. Oh, Mark, you aggroed more people. Oh, Mark.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Oh, bugger. I keep forgetting to use potions like an idiot.
I need healing.
He's almost dead.
Mark, we need to get you a seasonal character.
We need to get him a better tanking setup. Crap! Crap.
That
Pounding
too.
my chair like a child. I'm pulling a Cam Newton. Well, all my gear is now broken, so I'm in a weird spot.
There, we got him.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone going to take a shot on the division beta this weekend? Next
Probably
weekend.
not.
Next weekend.
That would mean
I think I will
time
stay
won't be
away.
playing this. Oh, crap.
Oh, boy. I don't know. To me, I didn't find... what's the one that Bungie made?
Destiny.
Destiny. I didn't find Destiny to be all that appealing, and if it's just a Destiny wannabe, I'm not too interested.
Yeah, I mean, so I played both of the betas, and I mean, I think yes and no, in the sense that it's like, part of the big issue I had with Destiny is like, it sort of treats the player as the enemy, if that makes sense. Like, stuff is really hard to get. It's really obtuse. Like, it's just...
You're obtuse.
I am obtuse. But you're cute.
Meh.
That's a math joke.
Gross.
Yeah, it's... I think, from what I played, it seems to not treat the player as the enemy, which I think is good. Got killed again. I mean, I think the way that they're handling like the PvP with the Dark Zone, like, I think it's kind of cool. Now, I don't know if it has like staying power, that in like 2 years people are going to be saying, "Oh, are you still playing the Division?" That's definitely to be seen, I think. But there seems to be the Dark Zone seems to be really good at like that emergent gameplay, sort of like that you see in EVE, where it's you just log in and then you just kind of do stuff, and then all of a sudden you see some guy, and then 3 hours later you've met someone and you're playing like that. It seems to lend itself a bit more towards that, whereas Destiny it feels like it's much more the like World of Warcraft. You're on the roller coaster that we designed, and that's it. sort of a thing.
So what you're telling me, this game is basically a mixture of um, Destiny and Tinder?
I mean, that would
Finding,
be
getting
yeah.
online and finding matches for
Yeah,
3
Hey, you
hours?
look like a good friend.
Yeah, swipe right. Hello.
Swipe right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the way that the biggest complaint that I had, and I've seen others with, is like, especially with Destiny, is the loot. Like, it's supposed to be almost like an, oh god, I got a big guy chasing me. It's supposed to be sort of like a first-person Diablo. Is essentially it's a loot grind, but it is so punishing in the way that you just can sometimes not get anything, and there's just no like clear way to do it. It just feels like you're just playing.
So it's Diablo 3 when Diablo 3 launched, which was
That
not a
sounds
good
about
game.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly the way to put it, and I think the Division seems to be leaning a bit more toward away from that, where it's the loot is important and the gear you have, but it's not the end all be all. And so yeah, I mean they've got the. I played the beta. I mean, probably the biggest complaint I would have is that you see the trailer that came out. I think E3 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and the game does not like on the Xbox One. It does not look like that. That's the PC version supposed to look like. But I think it's kind of Ubisoft's bad habit of spiffing up their games and then being like, oh yeah, about that. Like we had to turn the graphics down, and I think it's sort of
Watch Dogs.
yeah, it's Watch Dogs, and so I mean, I'll give the beta a try again, and I got it pre-ordered, Amazon, good deal.
I don't know, man. I've watched Let's Plays, I've watched videos, I've read about it, and I just don't care. Like, nothing about it is drawing me in at all.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I feel like too. There's just not enough there for me to gain enough interest in it to really put effort into trying it out. That makes sense. It's kind of like when Gears of War, right? When Gears of War was first announced, it was, I mean, there had been third-person shooters before, but it was so different in the sense of the visual aspect that it brought and just the storyline that it portrayed and just the different gameplay mechanics that seemed to be so much more fluid and better put together than in previous games. It was so much more different that it really drew my attention. I think it would be safe to say it drew all of our attention to it, right? And those are kind of more of the games I lean towards that are more, I guess, I don't know if innovative would be the right word, but they're just different enough that they draw your interest, or you stick with the games that you know are good, like Diablo and, Halo over the years, and Gears of War since it's come out and been so successful, and those other things. Because it's just not worth playing a game and spending money on it if it's not better than or different enough in a good way from what you're already playing. And that's just I'm kind of with you, John. I just see it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just not. There's nothing really all that great that makes me want to play it or try it more than what I'm already doing. So.
Yeah, there's no draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like Ubisoft's version of games that already exist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a piece that's kind of still to be seen. That especially for the like, oh my gosh, for someone who's already a Destiny player, like, is there enough to pull them away? Probably
No.
not. For someone like me who played it but isn't playing it, it's worth giving a shot. Like, I think it seems promising in the beta. I mean, like I said, it's $40. I don't really care if I get a month's worth of game time out of it, that's a pretty good deal. And I think definitely the
You
key
have low
there is
standards, man.
yeah.
That may be part of the problem with gaming nowadays is everyone's just fine if it's worth a month, of gameplay, where beforehand people wouldn't buy a game if it was only worth a month of gameplay.
Yeah.
If you bought a game, it was what you're playing for at least 6 months.
Yeah, at least.
Um,
And we still go back and play those games, so.
Yep.
And I think what's really going to be interesting to see too is their long-term support with it. I think that's an area where Bungie's really kind of gotten in trouble. Also, is
Yeah, you think?
like yeah, like and I think Kotaku's had a bunch of articles on like sort of saying like, oh, it's basically impossible to like they have to like load up a level overnight or something like that. Like it's crazy, and it explains why it's been almost impossible for them to pump out pump out new content because basically it like their tools make it so slow. So it'll be interesting to see if Ubisoft sticks with it and it becomes something, or if there's going to be Division 2 in 2017.
Yeah.
But
I think perhaps if Bungie would have pulled off Destiny better and had done things a lot differently and with a better
Or
quality, then I think
good.
I would have been much more open to it. But I think my experiences with Destiny like prevent me from really wanting to give it a try. Does that make sense? It's like if it's somewhat similar, even if it is different in these ways, I still had such a bad experience with Destiny. It's like I don't want to try that kind of a game anymore. So
yeah, you're
Dude,
wary
I
of
thought
the
Destiny was awesome until I played it. Then I never wanted to touch it again.
Yeah, I mean that was what was so frustrating about it, because it's like I love Bungie, I love everything, and then it was like, you play the alpha or the beta or whatever, and it was like, oh, like this isn't really what I was thinking.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, sitting there like, oh, expecting one thing, and it just kind of, and then they said like, oh, the like alpha had the alpha was like a fifth of the game, and it was like, what? And I mean, and then it made sense as all these articles come out after explaining like all the developmental issues that they had just getting the game out the door. But funny, just speaking of Ubisoft, like I saw the note that oh my god, just walked into a little static bolt thing that they're not going to be
Shame on you.
they're not going to be doing a yearly release of Assassin's Creed, which I think is a much needed change on the for the series.
yeah.
Well, as
That's
long as the
smart idea.
games that are each year come out are good, then that's great. I've heard Syndicate's really good. I haven't played it yet, but Unity was obviously one of the biggest freaking travesties in recent gaming. It's just, like the only thing buggier than it was Arkham Knight, or was it Arkham City? Which was
One
the
of
last
those,
one?
yeah, the new Batman.
Yeah. So terrible, got pulled from stores.
Yeah. Now, was it
Goodness.
just the
Wow.
PC version, or was it?
PC, yeah,
Okay,
and
it's
then they
just the
recently
PC.
actually canceled the Linux and Mac version, saying we just can't pull it off, and said, everyone, you can apply for a refund. They're
That's
not
insane.
even proactively refunding people. It's like, yeah, you better see this and, apply for it. I think it's funny, too.
Oh boy, SOS.
You're good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just I think that is a problem that has become more and more of a problem with these AAA titles and these companies. Is the development just gets so rushed, and they try and just push these games out the door so fast that they don't get the attention they need, and then they end up falling flat on their face, right? Like how many times have we seen games get launched that launch with so many bugs? And I mean, like even the big AAA titles, every single one of them has some kind of an update the night that you downloaded or that you booted up, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I just
Shit.
saw an article today that said that Fallout 4 on consoles got like a graphics upgrade. Like, what, this came out in November, and so 4 months later it got behind us. Like 4 months later, it's getting a big update. Granted, how many people are still playing it at this point?
Not me.
Yeah,
not
so-
I.
I must heal.
I overplayed it, and then it got overwhelming. I'll go back to it at some point.
That's what I'm feeling with The Witcher 3. Man, I like played it, and I'm just like, oh my god, this game is just.
Much.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back and beat it because it's really, really good. But it's It is overwhelming, the size of just everything.
Yeah, man. After spending like
Oh, goodness.
80, 90 hours on Fallout and not making a huge dent, I was just like, I gotta come back to this. I can't do this right now. I'm getting burned out just trying to do anything. You
Yeah.
try and go to do one thing and you have to either walk past or go through 40 different like little buildings or dungeons or however you want to view them.
That's a problem I have every once in a while too. It's like the beginning of the game, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see every location, I'm gonna do every side quest, and then like, you know, by the end of it, I'm like, you know, like help, help, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. I got no time for you.
On your own.
Yeah,
Teach a man to fish.
yeah. Teach a man to fish. There you go. um, although I
Can't
know,
be bothered
if
with your petty problems of getting murdered and not having food.
yeah. Although if you go on the subreddit, people have like turned it into basically like a poor man's version of The Sims with the settlement.
That's awesome.
So I read an interesting article. It was this, it was this guy. It was like a pro StarCraft 2 player who was deciding he wanted to.
Procraft?
Yeah, ProCraft. His challenge was he was going to play a competitive game of StarCraft while also playing a game of Hearthstone at the same time. So he would set all these build orders and then like tab over to Hearthstone and like make a move and then tab back. And it's
Nice.
just funny because it's Mark. It was like that article that you were sharing earlier about the professional basketball player who's
Yeah,
also kind
Gordon
of like
Hayward.
yeah, he's like semi-pro or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still blows my mind that people are able to make a living gaming.
Yeah.
That's pretty
and-
awesome.
I mean, I remember back, like John and I, when you and I first kind of started doing things together and we started gaming together, we would go to these local tournaments at Play and Trade, which I don't even think they're in business anymore. I think they're
Probably not.
they're well gone, right? So
Them and
But
Game
we'd go-
Crazy.
yeah,
Game
and
crazy.
I mean, yeah, it was Game Crazy and Play and Trade. We would go to these tournaments down at the local store and play for, I don't even remember how much was it, like a $15 in-store credit gift card or something like that.
Started at
Big
like 50,
spenders.
and then as they realized they were going out of business, they went down to like 15.
Yeah. But, you know, it was funny because, I mean, John and I, we cleaned that place out. Like, I mean, we won every single stinking tournament. But it was interesting by the end, I think kind of by the end of their time in those tournaments, there was a lot more people coming in and playing. And I think we got beat one time by these couple kids. All they did was, it was on Call of Duty, and they just used a noob tube the entire time. And we were not of the noob tube branch of the tree, I guess. And so I remember we were ticked. We were so mad that they were letting them play with these freaking noob tubes because all they would do is run around with a grenade launcher and just destroy it, right? And so,
Everything
but like
that moved.
that's, yeah, and like that's where gaming was. And I even remember going to people's houses that would host tournaments, and like these were guys that had like a big name among the gamer community locally, just because they would host these tournaments and everyone thought they were really good. You know, and you'd show up and you'd wreck them, and then you'd get your name out there, and then everyone would know who you were. But now it's like these guys are playing for, I think that article that I posted, he was saying that
It's
they
like
played
16
for
million.
16 million combined pot.
Jeez.
It's like it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty amazing how fast and how much the professional gaming and just gaming in general community has grown. I think it's an interesting thing to look at.
Well, and then like, and
That's
they're being
bonkers.
treated like real sports teams. You know, they've got their managers, and like, you know, they do training and practicing, and it's all this kind of, it is crazy, like just how, you know, and it's still hard to wrap my head around because you think sports, oh, you know, big athlete, you know, like this physical, like, you know, you got to be strong, you got to be fast, you know, you got to be big, you know, and this, and it's really like, it's like your finger, you know, you just your fingers on a controller or whatever. So yeah, it is pretty.
Yeah. I'm still annoyed about that noob tube thing. You bringing that up is just like I'm really pissed off right now, dude.
Yo, we were so
Just trigger
mad.
warning up in here.
Remember, we were like complaining to the store, like the people that were running it, and like we were ticked, and they were talking so much trash, and I think what we did, I think we talked them into just playing like even like I think it was one round or half a round or something without using a noob tube, and we wrecked them. Like there was no way they were gonna beat us, and then I think like halfway through the round or something, they switched back, and then like there's just nothing we could do. But yeah, no, it was. I remember it very clearly. It was. I remember going with one of my friends to this kid's house. It was him and his brother, and my other buddy that I gamed with, Spencer. He contacted me. He's like, "Hey, there's this guy and his brother. They're really really good at Halo. Like everyone at the school knew him as like the guys that played Halo, and like they would just wreck everybody." He's like, "Yeah, they're hosting this tournament over at their house." And it was a 2v2 tournament, and so he asked me if I wanted to go and play in it with him. And so him and I, I think we got together just one or 2 days before, played a couple of games together, kind of talked about some basic strategies, just like basic stuff, right? And then we go over there, and we end up playing through the whole tournament, and we get to the final round, and it's against this guy and his brother, and they came over and they shook our hands and they were talking trash. And so everyone else in the whole like house was watching us and them, and we were downstairs and they were upstairs. And it was on Halo. It was on Halo. Was it Halo 3 or Halo 2? I can't remember. But it was on the map. What is it? Zanzibar, the one with the beach and the gate.
Oh yeah, Zanzibar.
Big
Yep.
circle.
Yeah, so it was on Zanzibar,
Yeah.
and I remember my buddy and I beat these guys. I think it was like 50 kills to like 13. And like we just put them through the ringer. I mean, and like after the game, so the game ended, we went upstairs to shake their hands, and they wouldn't even like look at us. They wouldn't shake our hands. They wouldn't talk to us. They were so ticked. But I mean, that was the most like rewarding, like fun thing, because all their friends were there watching. Like, everything was in their own house. It was just like, holy cow, we just embarrassed you guys so bad, and like that was so much fun. I mean, and I remember how popular those types of things were. Like you'd order a bunch of pizza and stuff like that, and then go and play all night. And so, like, I guess it's really not surprising that it's popular, because those things were, like, they were a big deal with our generation, I feel like. So it's just, but it is interesting to see it be perpetuated to the point that it's at now. So.
Yeah, and the money, you just think about where it's coming from. Like, I mean, I'm guessing it's the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. But that's the other crazy thing. And I wonder, is it sustainable? Is there like a gold rush, or is it gonna, I mean, you look at like, not to compare the two, but you look at baseball contracts, and it's, you look at the money involved there. But Giancarlo Stanton got like $320 million. Like,
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think like gamers are gonna get to that point, but are you gonna see bigger and like, like are you gonna see the sort of organized teams, and salaries and all that kind of stuff, or is it gonna stay just sort of a tournament based like other sports? But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah.
definitely.
Well,
I think I'm a little past the window to get into that gig though.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
blew that. But.
Yeah, just a few years too late. But hey, maybe our kids.